My family skipped my marriage. Why?
Imagine standing at the altar in the most beautiful dress you have ever worn in your entire life. The venue is everything you once dreamed about as a little girl. Soft ivory flowers lining every row, candlelight flickering against polished wooden chairs, and music drifting through the air like a quiet promise that something sacred is about to begin. Every seat in that ceremony hall is filled with warm, smiling faces turned toward the door, waiting for the moment you appear, except one row, the most important row in the entire building, the row closest to the altar, marked with a small handwritten card that simply read, "Family of the Bride." Every single chair in that row was empty.
This is Maya's story, and by the time it is over, Aya grew up in the kind of neighborhood where appearing perfect was woven into the very fabric of daily life. Manicured lawns, homes that looked like catalog pages with freshly painted shutters and seasonal wreaths on front doors. A homeowners association that sent politely worded reminder letters if holiday decorations stayed up a day too long. From the outside, it looked like a dream. But Maya understood the invisible rules that held it together. Rules not printed in any handbook, but passed down through dinner conversations, through the careful way her parents discussed certain neighbors, and through the look her mother gave whenever someone did not quite fit the image the community had built for itself. Rules about who belonged and who did not. Rules that ultimately touched who you were allowed to love. She was 28 when she met Daniel. He was not from the neighborhood, not raised inside the same invisible walls. He was warm where her world had been polished, open where her family had been guarded, and kind in a way that never calculated what it might cost him. In the 3 years they built a life together, Daniel became the first person who loved her without a quiet list of conditions attached. He showed up for her on ordinary Tuesdays as reliably as on her worst days. He became her home in a way no neighborhood ever had. When she brought Daniel home the first time, her parents received him with politeness that looked like warmth until you studied it closely. Her father shook his hand. Her mother set an extra place at the table and smiled. But Maya noticed things. The way her mother's eyes moved when Daniel was not looking, scanning and measuring. The way her father's questions carried a subtle undertone, as if conducting an interview rather than welcoming a guest. Still Maya held on to hope. Families adjusted. When Daniel proposed on a quiet Tuesday evening, she said yes before he even finished the sentence. She called her mother that same night, breathless and full of life. Her mother listened, then paused long enough to be intentional, then said very quietly, "We'll talk about this when we come home. Not congratulations, not joy, just we'll talk." That pause contained everything Maya needed to know. Conversations that followed were never. That was what made them so hard to fight against. Maya's family did not raise their voices or issue ultimatums, she would point and say, "There, that was everything." They communicated in careful measured words that made Maya feel like the unreasonable thing other, where Aunt was first. And a subtle dinner, the little room asking questions about them, was back and forth, whether Maya had considered what to her, was something so different from everything. The questions were firm and concerning. The message made everyone understand. And then they moved to school. But nothing would tell me to show them. Maya home had been clean and centered on what residents were following a shift in the neighborhood's character. Less a discussion about profit, more an anxious coded conversation about preserving something that felt like it was slipping away. Maya's parents had been in that room and nodded. Weeks later, her father asked to speak privately. At the kitchen table, the same one where she had done homework as a child, he told her with hands folded and voice completely steady that if she proceeded with the wedding, they would not attend. He said he loved her. He said every choice carried consequences, all of it, without raising his voice once.